Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Teenagers Python. In the last video we learned about variables and data types, and this was the story which we have wrote. And today we are going to learn more about strings. So let's get started. Before that I want to tell you one more thing about variable. So now this variable name has James. So instead of James you can use name. So to use that name you need to combine it with a string using a plus symbol. So there was actually it's man, guys. There was a man called James, he was 50 years old. He really liked the name James, but didn't like being 50. So if you run it, it prints the same thing, but instead of name, it's James, because James is assigned to the variable name. So if you run it, you can see that it prints James instead of name. So now you can update the variable wherever you want in the story. So you're now half the way of the story, and now we want to change the character name to John. So you can write name equals in double quotes John. So if you run it, now the character name is changed to John only after this line. Only after this line. Before that it's James. After halfway the story, it's John. So it's like that, guys. This is the thing I want to tell you. I hope you understood. Now let's learn more about strings. So now let's print a string. Let's print my channel name Teenagers Python. Okay. Now we already learned this line. How does it work? So it just prints this string in the console. So if we run, it prints Teenagers Python. It prints it in a single line. But if you want teenagers in a single line and Python in another line, I'll tell you how to do that. You need to put on a backslash and you need to write small n. So now if you run this code, so you can see that these both words are printed on different lines. So this is like a escape character. You can also use a double quotes instead of it. So if you run it, it prints teenagers double quotes Python. It's like a escape character. So anything after this backslash gets printed directly. If you print a double quotes without a backslash, Python thinks that you are ending the string here only. So if you run it, it shows a error. Because this is Python thinks that you're ending the string here. So that's why you need to put a backslash. So it's an escape character. And if you put n, a new line gets created between them. And you can see that it's getting highlighted in a different color. It's teenagers Python. It's like that. Now let's create a variable. We'll use this only in a variable. I'll name the variable as phrase. P-H-R-A-S-E. Phrase equals teenagers Python. So now we can use phrase here, right? This is the same thing already we learned. If you run it, you will get say the same thing teenagers Python. Just a sec, guys, it's getting printed. As you can see, it gets the same thing printed, teenagers Python. Now let's learn some functions that can be used with strings. So now in this, T is capital and P is capital. The remaining are smalls, right? So if you use phrase dot lower and brackets, you need to put brackets, don't forget that, guys. And if you run it, now it prints in the console. Just a sec, guys, it's loading. If you run it, you can see that everything is printed in lowercase. So this phrase dot lower means lower and bracket means it converts this variable into lowercase. And in the same way, you can convert it into upper. You need to write upper instead of lower. And don't forget the brackets, guys. UPP, yeah. And if you run it, now everything will be printed in capital. So I'll show you guys. Now you can see everything is printed in capital letter, guys. And you can also check that if this string is uppercase or not. So you need to write is upper and same brackets. So if you write phrase.isUpper, it returns a value true or false. It prints true or false. If it's all the text is in capital, it prints true. Otherwise it prints false. In this case it need to print false. And you can see that it prints false. In the same way you can write lower also. Is lower. And if you run, it again prints false. You can see that it again prints false because everything is not in lowercase. P and T are in capital. It's as simple as that, guys. I hope you got it. Upper, lower, is upper, is lower. Is upper and is lower prints a value true or false. Upper and lower converts them into capitalized or small letters. It's as simple as that, guys. You can use two functions in a combination also, guys. So it's like phrase dot lower brackets and again dot is lower. So phrase dot lower, this line will be executed first. So phrase dot lower. So all the letters will be converted into lowercase first. And then this is run. So is lower. So now this is lowercase. So is lower. It should be true. So if you run it, you can see that it prints true. Because first it's getting converted into lowercase. Then this question is being asked. Is it true or false? So it's obviously true because it's getting converted into lowercase. I hope you got it, guys. Now let's learn about another function. So you can get the length of the string. So now what is the length of this string? So you can write len. So shortcut of length is length. len brackets. In brackets you need to give your variable name. phrase. Phrase. So if you run it, you will get the length of the string. So 16 characters. This is made up of 16 characters, including the space, guys. Don't forget that. Including the space, it's 16 characters. If you remove space and run it, it will print just 50 because everything inside of double quotes is counted. Now let's learn about another function, and that is index numbers. So I hope you know what is index, guys. So to print index number, you need to write the variable name first. Phrase. And in the square brackets, you need to write the index number. But you need to remember that in Python, index starts from 0. So T is 0, E is 1, second E is 2, N is 3. So it goes on like that. 4, 5, 6. Even the space is countable. 6, 7, 8, 9. The space is 9. So now if you want to print T, you need to give it 0. If you run it, it shows an error because the second line I just wrote something without a command. So you need to put a comment. So I already explained how to put a comment. You need to put it by a hash mark. So if you run it, guys, now it doesn't show a error. It needs to print T because the index 0 is T. You can see that it prints T. You can also print any letter you want. If you want to print G, so index number of G is 5. So if you print, if you write 5 in the square brackets, and if you run it, it needs to print G. And of course it does. You can see that. You can see that it prints, guys. But remember that it starts from 0, guys. That's it, guys. And now let's print the index number of a letter. So I'll show you guys just a sec. To print the index number of a letter, you need to write the variable name first. So phrase dot index in the normal brackets, round brackets. You need to write the letter you want to print, and that too in double quotes. Don't forget that, guys. So now if you want to print S, write 8. Sorry, if you want to print S, write S, and it prints the index number of S. It's 8. So as we can see, it's 8. It's like that, guys. So if you want to print P and run it, you can see that it's 10. So after 9 it's 10. It's like that, guys. But if you give a letter which is not in string, like Z, and if you run it, it shows an error. You can see that substring not found. So Z is not found in the string, so it shows an error. You can also type a word, PYTHOL. If you run it, it shows the number 10 because it starts from the index number 10. It shows the starting index number. So P is at 10, so it shows 10. So it's as simple as that, guys. And I think we have one more function. So I'll explain that also, guys. Actually, you have many more, guys. But for now, this will be enough for you. In future videos, you will learn automatically. For now, we will learn the last one. And that is to replace text. So for this, also you need to write the variable name first. Phrase dot replace. And in the brackets, now you can replace Python, and don't forget to keep it in double quotes, guys. You need to put any string in double quotes. Don't forget that. Let's replace Python with something else. Python, and you need to write the name to be replaced instead of Python by separating it by a comma. So here you put like HTML. So now print phrase dot replace Python. This is being replaced with HTML. Don't forget to put a comma here, guys. And if you run it, now you can see that it prints teenagers HTML. So it's like that. You can replace a word. This is actually cool function, guys. So these are some functions, guys. Just go through the video again, memorize these functions, and you are done with strings. That's it, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you do, please do like, share, subscribe, guys. And don't forget to hit the bell icon, guys. Thank you.